Greetings, ladies and melodrons, and welcome to this latest edition of Read TFOS, where I take old stories I've narrated and update them to modern audio standards. This particular story is called The Law of Unintended Consequences, written by PhilattheGame. Many races of the civilized galaxy have a fear or distrust of humans. My kind, one of the oldest, fears that one day the humans will achieve an understanding of space travel. It'll allow them to colonize, travel, and fight wars without a long time between fights. Right now, it could take a human ship 5 years to get from one of their planets to the next. That keeps their growth in check. But what would happen if they got the ability to travel the same distance in a few months as the others do? It would most likely mean that they could spread unchecked. Despite our technological advantage, our strategists say that we would be combat ineffective within 2 years if the humans decided to go to war. How is this so? I'll tell you. My people, the Ajarahir, has one of the best warships in the galaxy. It's sleek, maneuverable, capable of long-term flight, and boasts the third best shields. However, it only has 10 weapon emplacements, 4 missile tubes, 2 forward-facing plasma cannons, and 4 omnidirectional energy turrets. Compare that to the human ships. Their ships are blocky, slow, have decent maneuverability, and can't travel long distances unaided. That being said, the flagship of the humans has 12 missile tubes, 8 torpedo tubes, 20 AA guns, 20 AAA guns, 3 experimental plasma guns, probably improved since the last war with the Grong. On top of all of that is the humans' one great equalizer, the railgun, capable of firing a dart straight through all known shields. 66 weapons emplacements. That's just the flagship. Some of these ships and their fleets have almost double the amount. Now you see our predicament. My people have tried to limit human technological growth by refusing to trade in that area. But the majority of races in the galaxy fear the wrath of humans too much to follow our example. Worse are the few races that have opened trade with the humans. So far, no one traded the all-important plans for a better FTL drive. But it would only be a matter of time. That's why, when the new threat appears, I had an idea to hamper the humans. First, the new threat. At the edge of civilized space, a new race appeared. They came from a Vulpine heritage, which is strange in and of itself. As far as my kind knows, there hasn't been a Vulpine race achieving interstellar flight in history. Vulpine kind doesn't seem to get along well with their own kind. It hampers any growth. But this group had defied any known archetype. But that wasn't the important part. They were aggressive. Initial reports said that they were almost as aggressive as humans, and there were a lot more of them than humans. Well, if you had your home world destroyed, you probably wouldn't have the numbers anymore. Already, 2 Vulpine ships had clashed with border patrol ships. There have been no recorded fatalities, but that was only a matter of time. When I heard of the Vulpine people, we had a meeting with our allies. At first, there was talks of approaching the Vulpine as we did with humans, but I had a brilliant idea. What if I seeded the idea that this Vulpine group was too aggressive? If the humans and the Vulpine people fought each other, it could hamper their growth. Too busy fighting to make any significant advances. So after the meeting, I had my agents work on making a dossier. It stated that the Vulpines had attacked helpless commercial shipping and threatened to attack more if we didn't clear out the sector. They had told us to stay out of their way, but this dossier would make the threat look a little more serious. When the aliens read my report, they were rightly worried. That's when I gallantly suggested that we send the humans to deal with the problem. With the help of the Zinda, the only race with ships big enough to hold the human ships, the humans could hold the Vulpines. At first, no one was willing to take this action. But 2 more reports of attacks convinced everyone. Plus, the Zinda had territory near where the Vulpine were operating. It was easy to convince them. So we sent a ship to the only known human settlement. We knew there were at least 4 colonies, but the world Hargeth was the only one we knew for sure. The planet's original inhabitants were still there, but they were so backward they refused to grow in any way. They even welcomed the humans to live on their world. We meet one of the leaders of the humans, a dark brown-skinned human. We explained what was happening in the galaxy at large. To our surprise, he said his people couldn't participate, but he would get in contact with the other humans on the planet, and they would also send word to the other colonies. Knowing that it could take a while, I left the planet and ordered my second-in-command to take over. Then, to my surprise, 2 days later she called me back and said the humans had agreed to help. Also, a fleet had been dispatched to meet with the Zinder. How could they react so quickly? Well, sir, the humans had been running war games out in the Grand Jazidian Nebula. An Ardenazan trader ship happened to see them 5 days ago, and they were willing to go back and tell the humans what was going on, she explained. It was all happening too quickly. I had intended to place more evidence of the Vulpine wrongdoing between meetings with the humans. It should have taken a couple of years to get ready. But the Zinder were really worried and helped more than what I had expected. The Zinder even went as far as promising never to tell anyone where the planet was at, where the humans suggested going back to one of their colonies to get more ships. 5 months later, I was getting really worried. The humans had gathered 6 more ships, bringing the total to 25 ships. On top of that, the humans rolled out a brand new battleship, making it 26 ships. The task force would be commanded by Admiral Muhammad Ali, a descendant of some famous Earth fighter. With the fleet gathered, the Zinder attached and ferried the warships to their territory. Stupidly, in my opinion. Admiral Ali asked to be let out of the edge of Zinder space. It would take months for his ships to cross the necessary sectors. His enemies would see him coming. I was still uneasy about all of this, so I got my ship and its sister ship and followed after the humans. For 3 agonizing months, we followed the slow humans. Near the end of 3 months, a Vulpine ship was spotted. The humans normally would have opened fire as soon as their target was in range, but they seemed to slow down and let the ship escape. Twice more the Vulpines appeared and marked their progress. Then, at the start of the 4th month, a small fleet of Vulpine ships approached. 10 ships arranged themselves in a barrier. The human ships spread out. There was no way the Vulpines could win this battle, and with much satisfaction, I sat back in my command chair and waited for the fighting to begin. And waited. And waited. What's going on? I looked to my second-in-command. I don't know, sir, she answered before I could ask. One of the comms officers suddenly looked up. Sir, the Asmatals just said that they were picking up comms traffic. The humans are communicating with the opposing force. What? That's not how humans operate, I all but screamed. The humans were nothing but brutes, vicious killers. They don't just stop and talk with their enemies. We had only just started to listen in, but it already looked grim. They were getting along. Not only that, but the stupid Vulpines had shown the humans that they didn't attack the trade ships in that sector, that they wouldn't because their ships were just too slow to catch even the slowest of trade ships. Admiral Ali ordered a stand down. I wanted to scream. The human flagship went into no man's land, and the flagship of the opposing force did likewise, and there was nothing I could do about it. The 2 ships docked. I couldn't take it anymore and ordered my ships to retreat. Things only got worse from there. The humans contacted the Zinder and told them that a peace had been made. The Vulpine, which apparently had called themselves Hamir, had even agreed to stop expanding into Zinder's direction. The admiral of the Vulpine fleet ordered her other ships back, and she and her flagship followed Admiral Ali's fleet back towards Zinder space. I later learned that Ali and this person became friends. She even told him that he had fulfilled an old prediction, something about meeting people with similar hearts or some such drivel. It all spiraled out of control, and the worst thing imaginable happened. The stupid effing humans made an alliance, the stupid effing Vulpines. Not only had my plans backfired, but the humans were now in a better position than when this all started. End of story. I would just like to thank the T5 supporters: Bushmaster 117, Casper Arnholtz, Draxoon WRE, Elijah Silvercross, Gray, John Carrington, and Severin Cerberus. Thank you very much.